Hello,
And welcome to Cheesehead Gardening.
with Aaron and Jen.
We actually already shot this episode once, and it was the most hilarious episode you would ever seen.
But we didn't have the microphone on.
Yep, no sound. So this time we had obviously have sound. Our episode was all about questions and answers.
And we answered them all
We
quite
did.
thoroughly.
And we hilariously, is that a word?
It is now.
I love making up words.
That's right. So, you know who else does?
Cool.
George Bush.
And remember, didn't Dan Quayle make up words too?
I think he spelled them goofy,
Oh, he just
too.
spelled them goofy.
Like tomato
Maybe he didn't make
or
them up.
something.
Can you hear the cicadas again?
Yes, everyone, listen to the cicadas. Very nice.
Yes, they're in huge population this year. I think they really, really are enjoying the hot, humid weather. And in case you're wondering, if you happen to see, you think we're in a fog or something, it's really just brat smoke, because we're cooking out brats and hamburgers.
Or is it just that we want the backdrop to look steamy hot here in Wisconsin?
Because it is so steamy hot here in
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Jen, what do we have for
Let's
question
find-
number 1? All these are Jen's friends, by the way. I don't have too many friends. No, I was gone on a trip, so Jen's friends asked a bunch of questions. So, first question.
Where was your trip to?
Well, it was China, and it was gorgeous and beautiful, and maybe next time I'll have a garden picture or something for the website, but
Okay.
not yet.
This new one comes from my neighbor,
Okay.
and he wants to know why his neighbor doesn't pull his weeds.
A different neighbor or you?
I think he was referring to me.
Really?
Yes. But you know what? He has a 7-year-old for that.
Yes.
They're always good labor for pulling weeds.
Yeah, a penny a weed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Or
good
even
deal.
a nickel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one also was a new one that we didn't answer last time. And this one says, I separated my Gaillardia. I'm not sure if that's how you...
Gaillardia?
Something like that. Arizona sun. And now it looks like they are dying. Did I really kill them, or do you think they will come back next year?
Some of those I think are perennials and some reseed themselves.
Yeah. And I think that they're more reseeding than they are I know I can't remember which one I have, amber wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I tried to cut it in half, and both halves died, but it sprouted up everywhere else, and that was from seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that they spread more by seed
Yeah.
than. But yeah, I know that they also get really huge after a while.
I would say keep your seeds and spread the seeds where you want them.
Yeah, it'll come back.
And if it
by
comes
seed.
back, it does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. This one here was, can perennials make it through the winter in containers? I have many in Lily of the Valley that have grown in large pots. Well, that one Lily of the Valley will grow anywhere.
Which it's like a weed.
Yeah, it's like a weed. You can't get rid of it.
And it's hard to get rid of if you
Yeah.
want to get rid of it. Yeah.
And it's a good idea to put it in a pot, because then it doesn't spread everywhere, because otherwise it will take over your whole entire yard. And
Have you ever put hostas in your garage over the winter in a pot?
no, I haven't put them in my garage, but I usually I do put them in pots, and then in the winter I tip the pot sideways so that the water and ice don't collect in it, and then I usually take extra leaves from the yard and put it over the top, or I put it up against a warm side of the house and then pile that with leaves. So
Yeah. And I have a friend that I work with, Krista Clonerman, and she had some irises that she didn't have time to plant. She just threw them in her garage. And in spring, they were starting to roll and got blossoms and buds. So depending on how hardy that your plant is, some of them can. Don't
Yeah.
really recommend it,
no,
but some can.
certain ones like the Lily of the Valley, irises are pretty darn hardy too.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put not here in Wisconsin, I wouldn't put cone flowers or even daisies in a pot, because they probably wouldn't survive. And it's because of the ice. It's because when it snows, ice collects in the pots, and the snow actually helps to insulate the pots. But then when we always get the freeze thaws, and we get a warm spell in February, a cold spell in March, that's what actually kills the plant
Yeah.
off. Then he said, explain the old myth of not thanking someone when you receive or trade flowers with them. Now, I know.
So is he saying you're not supposed to thank them?
Yes.
Well, I think you should thank anybody who gives you something.
And that's how I feel too. But then I was telling my mom that this weekend, and she said that some person had given her some plants and she thanked them, and he said, you're never supposed to thank someone when they give you plants. So obviously somewhere out there,
Seriously?
there's something
What?
about this floating around. I had never heard of it before.
Maybe we have to ask the big dog. Martha Stewart. No, I've never heard of that.
The big dog.
I would just think you would thank somebody. Hey,
Yeah.
thanks for dropping me off. Thanks for the haircut. Thanks for the present. Thanks for the plant.
Yeah, I would think. If you know something behind that story, feel free to, shoot us an email or
Thanks for dinner.
even shoot us a video segment, and we'll put it on our next
Thank you for your comments.
video.
So when I'm at Stein's next, I'm going to grab my stuff and be like, ha! Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you don't think the clerks.
Grunt and take off.
Although they're selling you plants there.
But I'm not going to thank
giving
them. No, I'm just kidding.
One of the questions that isn't on this one, but I know someone else asked was, how do you get rid of moles? And Aaron had
I've got a lot of them. Oh, and this is gardening.
Yeah.
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 You mean the animals?
Yes, the animals, not the...
Oh, I like animals.
Yeah, so how would you get rid of moles?
Well, Jen and I were talking the first time we
We
filmed
had a little
this,
disagreement about it.
and we decided that it's really inhumane to get rid of moles because you have to do evil little poisoning tricks, and the most mild of them is to feed them gum, because that'll block them all up inside and then they die. But even that is pretty mean. Jen, you want to take it to a higher level?
Or you can go and get scissors traps, and you put them by where you see their most active tunnels, and you put them in, and they don't go very deep into the ground, and as the moles are moving around, it cuts them.
Oh.
But then you don't have moles anymore.
No, just like the Indians, I think they were here first.
She would rather just feed
Native
them,
Americans, I mean.
She would just rather feed them corn and throw them a surprise
Yeah,
party.
I don't have problems with any animals in my yard eating any of my flowers, and I have tons of rabbits and squirrels because I feed them. And they love me.
They're her only friends.
They'll write in. Aaron, what
Exactly.
brand of corn do you put out? All right, anyway.
Anyway, and then there was the question about the feather reed grass. Someone had said that their feather reed grass was kind of dying off this year, and it wasn't doing what it had usually done. And the biggest reason for that this year here in Wisconsin, I think it was this month, or I don't know if it was this summer or just the month of July.
Very
we had
wet.
like 17 inches of rain.
I think this whole summer so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard tomorrow we're supposed to be like,
Especially July, but
yeah, tomorrow here is supposed to be torrential rain.
You're kidding.
Fall. We're
Again.
supposed to have flood advisories again.
Oh, boy.
So feather reed grass prefers a evenly moist soil, not too dry but not too wet, and because it's been so wet, it's just not going to do well. And next year, as long as things dry out, it will be fine. But I wouldn't go dividing it because I don't think it needs to be divided. It's a grass.
Yeah. Just the moisture. Okay.
And now we're going to get off our butts
Yeah.
and,
Do that.
and show you some things. Maybe we can employ our cameraman if he's done grilling brats and hamburgers for us.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
Call Corey.
Yep.